Hello everyone and welcome to week 3 of CIS-115 or the new CSC-120 class. If you're wondering where my background came from, you'll just have to watch one of the two videos, either the literals video or the variables video, and you really should watch both of them. I'll explain why here in a moment. So this is the part of the class where the rubber really meets the road, so to speak, in car lingo. We really start getting into the mechanics of the language. So I'm going to ask for you to be patient. Not everybody gets this right away, and take your time. Things don't work right the first time usually when you're writing programs. That's why they call it debugging a program. So you can do this. The videos walk you through this, and there'll be a video to help you get started on the project this week. There'll also be a video to help you with the code lab. So take your time. There's only one project in this module. I'm going to shift over where I can share my desktop with you. And hopefully that shifted the scene over to where you can see my desktop. I'm going to check. Yep, looks like that's working. So, okay. So here's the checklist for this week, week 3 of the class. And while it looks like there's a lot of reading, there really isn't. These 5 chapters come to 24 pages total. Now my daughter's in vet school, and I can tell you a lot of her chemistry and biology classes, one chapter is 60 pages in her book. So this is 24 pages total. So each of these links takes you to the chapter in the textbook where that material is covered. You can get pretty much all of this if you watch these 2 videos here. There's a video on literals. There's a video on variables. So those videos walk you through this lecture that's right here. I click the link for the lecture on literals. I click the link for the lecture on variables. These 2 videos walk you through that. So, I had a question about the grade in the class, and in the very first week 1 video, it talked about your academic integrity grade. And I just wanted to make sure that everybody had a chance to look at that, because when you first walked into the class, so to speak, or signed into the class, you got 10 points automatically. And those 10 points come from me giving you 10 points for saying that you're going to do your own work. And you keep those 10 points as long as you don't turn somebody else's code in as your own. So if the software that I run everybody's programs through, the MOSS software, you can Google MOSS and see about Stanford is where it was developed. But I run folks' code through that, and it will detect if you copied somebody else's code. So at that point, that's when we have the discussion about academic integrity, and you could lose those 10 points that you were given at the start of the class. And so losing 10 points for most folks would drop you a letter grade. So that's where 10 points of your grade came from. Now your grade that's showing in Blackboard as your course grade is just a total of points. Every time you do something in the class, points are added to that total. So right now, where we are in the class, there are 7 modules in the class, 7 modules. So if you think about it, I'll pop something up where I can write here. If you think about that, there's 7 modules. We are 1/7 done with the class. So we're 1/7 finished. So right now, your course grade, which is just a total of points, it should be somewhere around 100 divided by 7 or 100 multiplied by 1/7. I think for most folks, if you add those 10 points that I gave everyone when they started the class, then you should have at the end of Module 1, you should have somewhere between a 25 and a 30 showing. And that's because 1/7 of 100 is what? Anybody do the math on that? 100, whoops, would be nice if it was 1,000. 100 divided by 7 is 14. If you add the 10 points for academic integrity to that, that's a grade that approximates where you would be right now in the class. Now there's some other things that you got points for, like doing the icebreaker and so on. So anyway, an approximate grade is around a 30 for a really good grade for somebody that did extra credit and all. So if you're wondering how am I doing? Well, if you didn't do any more work, your course grade is showing what your grade is. Your grade just comes from the points that you get for doing each thing. So every time you do something, your course grade goes up. Your course grade never goes down unless you were to lose those academic integrity points. So your grade only goes up each time you do something. Now, if you want a feel-good grade, it's not really your grade, but if you want to know, well, kind of how am I doing type thing, we'll take your grade that's showing as your course grade and just divide that by 30. So I'll take 24 and divide it by 30, and that comes out to 0.8. That's 80%. So as we go through the class, I can kind of give you another total at the end of each module where you could take whatever grade showing for you and divide it by those points and kind of come up with a, well, okay, how am I doing type grade. But that's not really your grade, because if you got run over by a truck or whatever, you just stopped doing work in the class, whatever's showing as your course grade, that would be your course grade. If you didn't do any more work, your grade is what your grade is. It just comes from the points from doing each thing. So I mentioned watching these 2 videos here for the literals and the variables lectures. There'll be another video that's posted in Blackboard with help for the code lab items. So I'll do a few of the code lab items and post that video to Blackboard on Monday. So there'll be another video that shows up to kind of help you with the code lab items. There's only one project. There's only one project for this module. That's Project 4. And Project 4, I will post a video to help you get started with Project 4. And so if you go into the folder in the assignments for Project 4, you'll find a video to help you get started with Project 4. The only other thing that I need to mention is there is a quiz for flowchart symbols. That's inside Module 2. You can do that quiz up to 5 times. Only your highest grade is going to get used. So If you're not familiar with flowcharts, if I pop into Module 2 here, you will see the flowcharts material right here where I'm pointing, flowcharting material. If you go in there, these are the symbols for a flowchart. We used to have to do flowcharts for every program that we wrote. When I went through RCCC, not only did we have to write the programs, but we had to do a flowchart for how the program worked. You don't have to do those, but you still have to understand what a flowchart is and what the symbols mean. And so this is the quiz on flowchart symbols. You can do it up to 5 times. If I click on begin, you can see it's asking me, what does this symbol mean in a flowchart? So you'll have to go back and look at that material and figure out what this means in a flowchart. Well, that's all I've got for you here in this video to kind of talk to you about week 3 of the class. Good luck. You can do this. Don't give up. It gets easier as time goes by. So keep at it, and you hopefully understand your grade and how that works. Usually about week 7 of the class, I will have some folks that already have a point total of 60 points, and that grade of 60 is a D. So somewhere around week 6 or 7, a lot of folks will have already passed the class. That doesn't mean you should stop. Hopefully you'd want a grade better than a D, but each time you do homework, an assignment, a quiz, whatever, your points go up, so you can keep doing work until you have a point total there for whatever grade you want. And remember, the final is worth 10 points of your grade too. So, all right, good luck with Module 2 of CIS 115 or CSC 120. Thanks.